Ó bá ti ń bọ̀ Mercy Camp ló ń bọ̀ ní abúlé ọba ní Makoge. Ó bá jẹ́ Ìbàdàn ló ti ń bọ̀, ìwọ dúró ní after MFM. Wọ́n pe bus stop yẹn ní Magboro. Ojú express yẹn náà ni wọ́n ti sọ. Lẹ́yìn MFM ní Magboro bus stop. A ti sọ Magboro. Sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́kadà tàbí kórópọ̀ kó ní Mercy Camp ló ń lọ ní abúlé ọba ní Makoge. Ó ti rí ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ ọkùnrin tí àdúrà ń lọ ní Mọ̀nàwá. Bó ti ń jáde lọ lónìí ọjọ́ Thursday, agbára láti ní ọ̀rọ̀, agbára láti ní àṣeyọrí, agbára láti ní ìwòsàn, agbára láti ní ìgbédìde mórí tó wọnú ayé rẹ̀.
Àmín Jésù.
Ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àmín.
Ọkàn ó sì balẹ̀. Mo gbàdúrà fún ọ bó ti ń lọ, ó rí ọwọ́ lọ.
Àmín.
Pè nọ́mbà yìí. Ẹ bá ti pe call center, ẹ tún lè pe nọ́mbà 080 kọ́ọ̀lì ará Ìbàdàn 0028449324 0028449324.
Amuludun rédíò lágbádé fún.
Amuludun rédíò ní bàbá wọn.
Nítorí pé
àwọn ètò tó máa yá lórí àwa ni o. Ẹgbẹ́sà lárugẹ iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ wá. Ìròyìn tí ó lè jàmbá kan nínú o. Ká má polówó ọjà ajábùgbàjẹ́. Amuludun 190 ló kẹ́.
aláwẹ̀dà o níbo ló fẹ́ máa gbọ́.
Amuludun ní.
A lot is to do in terms of humanitarian assistance. The primaries cannot accommodate everybody.
99.1 FM.
Federal government to create over 3 million jobs in technical talent programs. And Global Group approves $1 for safety charge on international flights. Our commentary today is on providing affordable housing for Nigerians.
You can follow us on Instagram and X at Radio Nigeria HQ and on Facebook at facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network. Now the news in detail. The Senate has called for the establishment of a military base in Hong, local government area of Adamawa State, to tackle the resurgence of Boko Haram activities in the area and other northeast states. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by Senator representing Adamawa Central in Abuja.
The federal government has announced a cash reward of 5 million naira for information that could lead to the recapture of the 7 inmates who escaped from the Medium Custodial Center, Elisha, Osun State. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Abubakar Umar, urges members of the public to report any information that can lead to the whereabouts of the inmates. The statement assures that all information will be treated with utmost confidentiality.
The Kwara State High Court, sitting in Ilorin, presided over by Justice Hannah Ajayi, has fixed 4th of next month for continuation of hearing in the case of alleged murder of a Kwara State College of Education student, Hafsul Lawal, by Abdurrahman Bello and 4 others. When the case came up for hearing, one of the 3 prosecution witnesses in the alleged murder case, Police Inspector Ayodele Aziz, told the Kwara State High Court how the prime suspect, Abdurrahman Bello, confessed to killing the deceased. The prosecution witness backed up his presentation with Abdurrahman's written statement and video, which were accepted by the court as exhibits. Inspector Aziz's testimony before the court brought to 10 the number of witnesses that have appeared before the court since the commencement of the case. The police inspector, a lawyer, and a translator were the witnesses called by the prosecution team to prove that Abdurrahman Bello and 4 others were guilty of the charges preferred against them. During cross-examination, counsel to the first defendant, Mr. Abdurrazak Daibu, objected to the admissibility of the video evidence, claiming that his client, Abdurrahman Bello, was tortured in the course of the investigation. When asked if any incriminating evidence was found with other suspects or in their respective residences, Inspector Aziz said none was found with them. Abdurrahman Bello and 4 others were accused of conspiracy, culpable homicide, and illegal possession of human parts, while Abdurrahman was solely accused of raping Hafsa before allegedly killing her.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRIC, is to commence a nationwide film-based advocacy campaign targeting young Nigerians in a renewed effort to combat the high rate of road traffic crashes. The FRSC Corps Marshal, Malam Shehu Mohammed, who stated this while addressing newsmen in Abuja, said the Corps was highly concerned as over 1 million youths all over the world die annually in road accidents. He said FRSC was to launch a campaign known as Drive Right, Drive Smart Road Safety Film Festival to harness the influence of entertainment and digital media in promoting safer road habits. According to the FRSC boss, the campaign is also aimed at reorienting young road users through storytelling, visual content, and celebrity engagement in line with Nigeria's commitment to the United Nations target of reducing road crashes by 50%. President, Actors Guild of Nigeria, Dr. Emeka Rollas, called on members of the entertainment industry to use their platforms to amplify the road safety message and mentor emerging talents participating in the initiative.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has airlifted 32,549 Nigerian pilgrims, representing 79.1% of the total number of intending pilgrims for the 2025 Hajj exercise. A statement by Assistant Director, Information and Publication, Fatima Osara, said the milestone was achieved through 79 flight operations since the commencement of airlift of pilgrims. The statement expresses appreciation to Nigerian pilgrims and the public for their patience, understanding and prayers throughout the process, and reaffirms its commitment to delivering a seamless and spiritually fulfilling Hajj experience.
President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with two British Nigerians, Opeyemi Bright and Jason Jackson, on their election and inauguration as mayors in London. In a statement, the president commends Bright and Jackson for sustaining the legacy of good works and consistently promoting the values of honesty, integrity, hard work and commitment to the well-being of others. A statement by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, says their story will inspire countless young Nigerians to pursue excellence and serve their communities with distinction. Opeyemi Bright was sworn in as the civic mayor of Barking and Dagenham, making history as the borough's youngest ever mayor at just 29, following 7 years of outstanding service to her community. Jason Jackson has also become the first Nigerian-born mayor of Islington since the borough's establishment in the 1900s, following a rapid rise through local government as a councillor and committee chairperson.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
On May 28, 1975, a bold vision was born. The dream of a united, integrated, and prosperous West Africa became a reality as leaders of 15 West African countries gathered in Lagos, Nigeria, to lay the foundation of a regional organization with the capacity to address the economic, social, political, and security challenges facing the region. On that historic day, ECOWAS was born. Over the past 5 decades, ECOWAS has remained resilient, steadfast, and committed to the deals set forward by its founding fathers, promoting democracy, peace, security, and good governance. As we reflect on our journey over the past 50 years, we look to the future with hope and determination. Together, let us continue to build the ECOWAS of our dreams. ECOWAS, stronger together for a brighter future.
My leg.
Young man, are you discombobulated? See my car too. Maybe you are suffering from acute...
No need to fight. Get third-party motor insurance. It works. Third-party is the compulsory minimum cover for all motorists for the safety of road users. It offers up to 3 million naira for the repair of the other person's vehicle, and it works across West Africa. It covers medical care to an injured third party and even compensates the family of a deceased third party in case of death. It's only 15,000 naira for private car owners with varied prices for commercial vehicles. Buy yours now at www.niip.ng and verify save at askniid.org.
This message was brought to you by the insurance community.
After back-to-back finishes as runners-up, Remo Stars finally hit the bullseye by winning their first ever Nigerian Premier Football League title with 4 games to spare. The Keneremo-based side wrote their name into the folklore of the nation's top flight by becoming the first side from the southwest to win the coveted title in 25 years. To celebrate the historic and milestone achievement, Radio Nigeria, in conjunction with the Nigerian Premier Football League and GTI, brings you the freshly minted champions in week 37 as they tackle emerging Southwest powerhouse Ikorodu City, who themselves are in touching distance of finishing in the top 3. The game also affords Remo Stars the opportunity to celebrate their success before their home fans. But will they still roar, or will the Oga Boys from Lagos put a dent on the title celebrations? Join us live on Sunday for the big match from 2:30 p.m. FRCN Sports, connecting through sports, uniting the nation.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Thank you for being there. As earlier reported, the Senate has ordered the security agents to establish military base in Hong, local government area of Adamawa State, as it calls on the Committee on Health and Agriculture to summon NAFDAC over the use of harmful chemicals in fruit ripening. Zacchaeus Babalola reports that the Senate also approved the establishment of federal medical centers in Adipo, Benue State, and Kanke in Plateau and other parts of the country.
Worried by the renewed attacks by Boko Haram fighters in communities in the northeast, the Senate called on the federal government to establish a military base in Ong, local government area of Adamawa State. The Senate called on the National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to all those affected by the recurring attacks of the insurgents. These resolutions were reached after a debate on a motion sponsored by Senator representing Adamawa Central, Aminu Abbas, and his colleagues from the Northeast. In his lead debate, Senator Abbas decried renewed attacks on communities in Adamawa State, said the insurgents in the last few weeks has been on those communities, made the localities inhabitable.
That the unfortunate activities of Boko Haram affect the economic activities of the affected areas, and most of the local government now reside within the local headquarters. By extension, the whole region and the country at large, people in the affected areas no longer go to farms and normal trading activity. That if no action taken, the Boko Haram insurgency is capable of spreading to wider communities in the north and beyond.
As a result of the avalanche of banditry and other security concerns across the nooks and crannies of the country, the Nigerian military is overstretched, and most of the equipment and personnel were redeployed to the northwest, where we have the problem of banditry and what have you. So the Boko Haram now took advantage of the vacuum.
After the debate, the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, expressed worry over the country's porous borders, which makes it easy for the insurgents to gain access, infiltrate, and then attack innocent Nigerians. He also noted that the situation was so bad that some communities in the zone have resorted in paying allegiance to the terrorists for their safety.
They think that the military has relaxed. Then they will catch them unawares by sporadic attacks. Borders are very porous. So even when they escape from Nigeria, because some of them are not from Nigeria, they still find their way in at any time and crossing to attack our people.
In another development, the Senate also passed the bill for the establishment of the Federal Medical Center at Adipo in Benue State, sponsored by Senator Amuludun into law. The bill, whose third and final reading was unanimously approved by the Senate in the Committee of All Six, to establish a Federal Medical Center in Adipo that will not only cater for the health needs of the Benue Northeast Senatorial Zone, but Benue State and Nigeria in general and beyond. The bill seeks to bring medical care closer to the people, especially in times of emergency. According to him, the bill came on the heels of the amendment to the Federal Medical Centers Act of 2022. Also, the Senate also passed the bill for the establishment of the Federal Medical Center in Kanke, Plateau State. The bill, sponsored by Senator Dike Plang, aimed at improving the medical condition of those in Plateau State.
Thank God that bill for the establishment of a Federal Medical Center in Kanke passed. The third reading was passed and taken. I'm very glad, and by the grace of God, I do know that Mr. President desires to expand medical services to Nigerians by way of increasing and establishing more federal medical centers within the country.
The Senate also expressed serious concern over the widespread use of harmful chemicals such as calcium, carbide, ethanol granule, and ethanol by fruit sellers to artificially ripen fruits and boost sales. This followed a motion by Senator Antonio Curry, representing Ebonyi South, who lamented the use of chemical to ripe fruits. Okoro said, despite warnings by regulatory agencies and medical professionals about the dangers posed to the consumers, the harmful practice continued, increasing risk of health complication.
Carbide contains impurities such as arsenic, lead particles, phosphorus that cause several health hazards such as cancer, heart, kidney, liver failures, neurological disorders, intestinal problems, skin damage, mouth ulcers, and so on.
The Senate, in its resolution, urged regulatory agencies like NAFDAC, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to, among other things, investigate the practice, ensure continuous sensitization on the dangers, and uphold regulatory standard by carrying out regular inspection to fruit markets. From the National Assembly Complex, Zacchaeus Babalola, Radio Nigeria.
The Nigeria Air Force, NAF, has unveiled its Civilian Harm Mitigation and Response Action Plan toward enhancing civil-military relations and protecting civil details.
The seminar with the theme Optimizing Civil-Military Relations in a Joint Operational Environment for Enhanced Air Operations underscores the imperative of integrating humanitarian considerations into air operations, particularly in asymmetric warfare, setting where the risk of civilian populations is elevated. On the occasion, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, described the Civilian Harm Mitigation and Response Action Plan as a bold and unprecedented initiative, noting that it is the first of its kind within the armed forces of Nigeria. The Chief of Air Staff said the plan is designed to guide effort in reducing the scale and impact of harm to civilians during air operations. He noted that the document formalizes the Nigerian Air Force operational values of precision, accountability, and restraint. The Chief of Air Staff said the Nigerian Air Force remains firmly and deeply committed to the rule of law, transparency, and respect for fundamental human rights. Air Marshal Abubakar highlighted that the citizenry remains the most valued partner in the nation's security architecture, adding that national security is a shared responsibility.
Insurgents often deliberately embed themselves within civilian populations without detection, thereby creating unfortunate situations. In the few instances where civilian casualties are reported, Nigerian Air Force has promptly conducted investigations, accepted responsibility.
The Chief of Air Staff also expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his continued support in the acquisition of modern air platforms such as the AH-1Z attack helicopters and M346 fighter aircraft. Those platforms, according to him, will enhance mission precision and further minimize civilian harm during operations. In a keynote address, the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, represented by the State Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, commended the Nigerian Air Force in their operations in the Northeast, urged them to utilize the newly acquired air platforms to attain the air power in Africa.
It is gratifying to note that the Nigerian Air Force has recently acquired state-of-the-art assets and platforms to perform its constitutional duties effectively and efficiently.
The event also featured two incisive lectures entitled Building Trust and Cooperation for Sustainable Civil-Military Relations and Operational Effectiveness, Nigerian Air Force Operations in Perspective, presented by Professor Usman Estefanus Zabedi and a retired Air Vice Marshal Olato Kumbo Adesanya. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ejim, Radio Nigeria.
Over 40,000 displaced persons have been returned that is, to their communities in total local government area of Nasarawa State and are facing critical shortages of food, water, and healthcare. The national chairman of the Basa Cultural and Development Union, Mr. Lansabo Nizo, Friday, stated this during a news briefing in Lafia, where he solicited urgent government intervention to provide relief to the people. Chris Nyamtu reports.
Between 2017 and 2018, total local government area of Nasarawa State was hit by a deadly communal crisis that claimed lives, destroyed property, and forced thousands to flee to neighboring states, including the Federal Capital Territory. When Governor Abdullahi Sule assumed office in 2019, he initiated a series of peace and reconciliation efforts that have since restored relative calm to the area. These efforts have led to the return of many displaced persons, some after as long as 7 years away. Speaking to journalists in Lafia on the condition of the returnees, the national chairman of the Basa Cultural and Development Union, Mr. Dansabo Nitso, Friday, applauded Governor Abdullahi Sule's peace efforts, but stressed that the job is far from over. He urged the government to follow up with concrete action to meet the people's urgent needs. He also called on stakeholders, security agencies, and local authorities to support peaceful reclamation of lands occupied during the years of displacement.
A lot needs to be done. In terms of humanitarian assistance, as we return, the primaries cannot accommodate everybody. We have children who need medical attention, schools to attend. In most of these communities, there is no water.
Mr. Nitso further appealed to the returning communities to embrace the state government's peace and reconstruction initiatives, saying it is the only way to revive economic activity across the local government.
The local government is suffering. It is suffering because we are not united. For how long will we continue in that way?
Also speaking, the immediate past chairman of the Baza Cultural and Development Union, Mr. Emmanuel Baji, emphasized the importance of inclusivity, justice, and equal opportunity for all, regardless of ethnic or political differences. He said this is key to restoring true sense of belonging.
For all the appointments from the Executive Council downwards, in all the 5 local governments that Basas are found, no Basa is mentioned. We are calling the governor. I believe he can do something about it.
Both leaders pledged to work hand in hand with government, traditional rulers, and security agencies to ensure lasting peace in total local government area. In Lafia, Chris Nyamtu, Radio Nigeria.
From Nasarawa to Kebbi, where the senator representing Kebbi Central, Mohammed Alero, has distributed empowerment materials to people of his constituency to make them self-reliant. The items include tricycles, motorcycles, solar deep freezers, grinding machines, solar water pumps, sewing machines, and bags of fertilizers. At the event in Kebbi State, Senator Adamu Alero said the move was part of the dividends of democracy to the people. He advised the Kebbi State Governor, Comrade Nasiru Idris, to continue to take over important federal government road projects in the state and gave an assurance that as lawmakers, they would ensure the state government received the money spent on such projects. The Kebbi State Governor, Comrade Nasiru Idris, urged beneficiaries to make judicious use of the items for the overall development of the state.
Stakeholders in the livestock subsector have been urged to come up with actionable template that will ensure the sustainability of donor-sponsored projects in Nigeria. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock Development, Dr. Chinyere Akujiobi, made the call in Abuja at a 2-day animal husbandry stakeholders workshop with the theme Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, Sustainability Plan Development. Shekara Anthony completes the report.
The forum was an opportunity for the newly created ministry to assemble experts from both public and private sectors to generate a workable template that will propel the ministry's programs and policies towards achieving national success in animal husbandry. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock Development, Dr. Chinyere Akujobi, who declared the workshop opened, expressed dissatisfaction over years of poorly implemented projects that led to waste of resources and other negative consequences on the economy, and emphasized that the time had come to change the narratives. Dr. Akujobi, represented by the Director, Project Coordinating Unit of the Ministry, Dr. Adeni Adedoyin, mentioned 3 key recommendations that will ensure lasting impact of donor-sponsored projects, to include training and retraining of project implementation units, applying global best practices in solving problems, and project post-completion impact assessment review on all sponsored projects.
The core objective of this workshop, which must not be lost on the participants, is to synthesize practical recommendations that will help shape an actionable and implementable sustainable plan for Empress and other livestock projects, thereby ensuring that Nigerians continue to benefit sponsored projects beyond their funding period.
On the review of livestock projects around the country, the National Coordinator of Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Projects and implementing partner of the Ministry of Livestock Development, Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, announced that $500 million had been provided by the World Bank to fund various animal-related projects in 20 states of the Federation, which are already in different stages of completion.
And what is the essence of this very important workshop is to address the common challenges of poor maintenance, underutilization, and potential abandonment, often associated with donor-funded infrastructure projects in Nigeria.
A representative of the World Bank, Dr. Chidozie Anyiro, said the effective management of long-term functionality of livestock infrastructure are crucial in ensuring the sustainability, efficiency of animal production.
It's very important that we pay critical attention to that so that we don't repeat the mistake that have been done previously, where at the end of the project there won't be anything to write home about in terms of sustainability and management.
Goodwill messages were delivered by the Registrar, Nigerian Institute of Animal Science, President, Nigeria Veterinary Medical Association, and the CEO, America West Africa Agro. In Abuja, Shekara Anthony, Radio Nigeria.
Participants at the second Cooperative Regulatory and Compliance Conference in Abuja have pledged to adopt a pragmatic approach to tackling numerous challenges facing the cooperative societies. President of Corporate Affairs Commission, Cooperative Society, Haruna Yakubu, said he was more impressed with credit and housing opportunities in the operations of Cool Thrift.
It has given us other options to explore to see how we can be able to take advantage of housing for our members. When you look at the rates the banks are giving, it's practically impossible for most societies to be able to survive it because of the double-digit rates.
President of the FRCN Headquarters Cooperative Society, Comrade Ndubweze Chidoka, said the conference discussed issues, profit solutions, and set an agenda to realizing cooperative reform that would meet the needs of the people.
We are all yearning for cooperative growth in our various cooperative societies, and this theme for this conference is apt, which is repositioning cooperatives to deliver on inclusive growth and development in regards to what we are taught here on how to better the lots of our members and towards ensuring that we create ideas on how to source for money. It was an opportunity to enrich our knowledge.
The Executive Secretary of CFAN, Mr. Emmanuel Atama, was excited that the conference addressed issues raised in the World Bank survey on financial cooperatives in Nigeria. Over 100 cooperative leaders participated in the second Cooperative Regulatory and Compliance Conference with the theme, Repositioning Cooperatives to Deliver on Inclusive Growth and Development.
The Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Dr. Muhammad Bulama, says efforts are ongoing to tackle the many challenges facing the corporation. The FRCN Director General, who stated this while interacting with management and staff of Radio Nigeria Atlantic FM, Uyo, identified some of the challenges facing the corporation to include aging equipment, poor power supply situation, lack of competitive content and training and retraining of staff, and stressed that the management was working to address these challenges to reposition the corporation for improved service delivery. Dr. Bulama, however, said that the federal government cannot do it alone. As such, the corporation was seeking for partnership with the state government, corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations for support to ameliorate some of the challenges facing the corporation.
Because of my pragmatic approach and my belief that the federal government alone cannot do it, we are seeking out partnership with both government and non-governmental organizations. I can assure you that things are going to get better. I'm determined that I'll leave FRCN much better than I met it.
On the issue of staff welfare, Dr. Bulama said the FRCN and other federal media agencies, as well as in-house unions, came up with a template for an improved condition of service for federal media workers, which is receiving the attention of relevant authorities.
On our own, we need to improve the condition of service. So we put up a team, consisting of one representative from each of these 5 agencies. They sat down and they produced a very nice document, which we submitted to the Minister for onward transmission to Mr. President. Staff welfare is very important.
Dr. Bulama, who called for support for all staff to the management, charged the staff of the corporation to also focus on self-development to ensure advancement in their careers, as promotion will now be based on merit and on availability of vacancies. The General Manager of Atlantic FM, Mrs. Nsebong Emmanuel, who thanked the Director General for the visit despite his tight schedule, complained of encroachment on the lands of the station and called on the management of the FRCN to put measures in place to protect the assets of the corporation. The Director General of the FRCN was accompanied on the visit by the Zonal Director of FRCN South-South Zone, Mr. Lucky Obarian, and other officials of the corporation.
Resident Electoral Commissioner in the Benue State, Professor Samuel Egu, has called for the decentralization of some key activities of state independent electoral commissions, especially in the area of training and capacity building. Professor Egu stated this at the 30th National Delegates Conference of the Forum of State Independent Electoral Commissions of Nigeria, holding in Jos. Josiah Bosom reports that the two-day event has as its theme local government elections in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and opportunities.
The National Delegates Conference is aimed at assembling major stakeholders in the administration of local government polls in Nigeria in order to brainstorm on the core mandates of state independent electoral commissions and review some of their optimal performance. In attendance were chairmen and secretaries of state independent electoral commissions in the country. Professor Sam Egu, who was guest speaker at the event, through his support for sustaining state independent electoral commissions.
I support the position of retaining seats and strengthening them because we
There is no other way.
While commending the European Union and other partners for their contribution in the conduct of elections in the country, Professor Egu expressed worry that elections in the country are not free and fair, despite the improvement that INEC has made. Governor Mutfwang of Plateau State said the conversation should begin with leadership recruitment in the country.
We must come up with a strategy that allows us to be able to decipher people that really truly have the people at heart. Bad governance is not just about retrogression in democracy. Even development and wastage of funds is a consequence of bad leadership.
While admitting that local government elections conducted in the state was not perfect, Governor Mutfwang said it succeeded in raising the bar. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, who was special guest at the event, admitted that the State Independent Electoral Commissions face some challenges.
I know the challenges that they face has been interference and underfunded. These major challenges will not make them to do any better. So until we are able to handle these issues as they are, we will continue to deceive ourselves.
National Chairman of the body, Chief Josie Chibundu Eze, was worried that as a body with a guaranteed tenure of office, they are sometimes asked to vacate office by just a radio announcement or oral directive without cause. From Jos, Jose Abudzun, Radio Nigeria.
It's 7:30. You're listening to the news on the network service of Radio Nigeria. In the headlines, the Senate has called for the establishment of a military base in Hong, local government area of Adamawa State. Internally displaced persons in Nasarawa State have decried food shortages. Still to come, federal government to create over 3 million jobs in technical talent programs. Banjul Accord Group approves $1 passenger safety charge on international flights. Plus, sports news, commentary, cyberscope, newspaper headlines, and weather reports. Stay with us.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
It's Nigeria's #1 disability inclusion talk show, airing every Friday from 10 till 11 a.m. on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Join the conversation as we tackle pressing disability issues, spotlight inspiring voices, and drive inclusive change, one story at a time.
Thank you for creating a space where we are truly heard.
With interviews, expert insights, and your live phone-in contributions, this is more than a program. It is a movement for inclusion. Brought to you by TAF Africa, with support from the European Union through the EU SDGN project, working to promote inclusive governance for all Nigerians. Don't miss Disability Inclusion Talk Show every Friday at 10 a.m. only on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Let's build an inclusive Nigeria together.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, is driving a campaign to address metering gaps in the Nigerian electricity regulatory industry through various initiatives of the federal government. Tune into the program Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria every Monday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. as officials of NERC discuss the metering initiatives, how you can get a meter, regulatory actions to promote customers without meters, replacing faulty meters, redress mechanisms, and unauthorized access to meters. Be informed and get a meter today. NERC, keeping the lights on.
Countryman, countrywoman, on top una program wey be country matter, another ogbonge program don tanda gidigba for inside. This one na we call Side by Side Naija campaign program. The program dey to promote women to join and participate for politics for we country. Time for the program na from Saturday, May 10 till we hear gbagam before we go stop. We dey also expect una to gree us and talk put for the matter. Time for the program again na Saturday, 4:30 for afternoon. Different things dey to gain inside the program o. Na Side by Side Naija campaign be the sponsor. No miss am o.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
It is indeed gladdening to know you're tuned. The federal government is to create jobs for over 3 million people in technical talent programs across the country. Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Boso Tijani, stated this during an inspection of the Nigeria Standard Building in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Dorcas Gwani reports.
The Nigerian Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Honorable Bosun Tijani, visited Jos, the Plateau State capital, with a promise to uplift several youths in the state through technology. The minister also pledged to convert the famous Nigerian Standard Building into one of the headquarters of the business process outsourcing in Plateau.
Plateau State in conversation is one of the states where we're focusing on to see how we can accelerate bringing business process outsourcing jobs to the state. There are companies all over the world that are looking to outsource job opportunities. Historically, they've done this with countries like India. Nigeria actually speaks better English and a better place to capture most of those jobs, and that's what we want to do.
He explained that the government has launched initiatives such as the Outsource of Nigeria initiative, which aims at attracting international businesses to the country. Honorable Tijani further explained that the goal of his visit to Plateau State was to assess the possibility of converting the historic building as well as working towards refurbishing it, then engage companies that hire young people for business process outsourcing for work. Receiving the minister, the Plateau State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Honorable Joyce Ranap, expressed gratitude for the initiative and for having Plateau State in focus. She added that indeed this project is a step in the right direction for the state.
This is much that we've been saying that Plateau State is ready for every level of collaboration.
The commissioner further reiterated that because of the young population of Plateau State, it makes it key focus for Mr. President. And as a state government, they are committed to creating the right environment for his policies and programs to thrive in the state. In Jos, Dorcas Gwani for Radio Nigeria.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is in collaboration with the Sokoto State Government, have inaugurated a state-of-the-art digital village aimed at providing digital and vocational training to Almajiri children and out-of-school adolescent girls in the state. At the event in Abuja, the UNICEF country representative, Ms. Christiane Munduate, who said the initiative was targeted at enhancing learning opportunities for vulnerable children, explained that the initiative would be delivered in local languages to ensure good understanding and accessibility. Ms. Munduate, represented by Chief of Field Office, Sokoto State, Michael Ajima, said 150 Almajiri boys and 100 girls were expected to benefit in the first phase to become productive members of the society. The Sokoto State Governor, Ahmed Aliu, announced the approval of 500 million naira counterpart funding and pledged to provide other needed support for sustainable development.
The Banjul Accord Group, BAG, has approved a $1 passenger safety charge on all international flight tickets originating from its member states. The decision, reached at the 18th BAG plenary session in Abuja, is aimed at closing the group's persistent funding gap and strengthening aviation safety oversight in West Africa. Set to take full effect by 2030, the charge is to enable member countries time to align with national laws. The Director General, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Chris Najomo, said the levy would support accident investigations and regional aviation initiatives like the single African air transport market. He also highlighted varying airline capacities among members, with Nigeria hosting 13 domestic carriers, while some states have none. The plenary also recorded a financial boost, with the EU Aviation Safety Agency doubling support to 10 million euros. A wake for Mrs. Theresa Oku, who died on the 6th of last month, holds today at the family compound, number 52 Oyigebe Street, Otukbo. Tomorrow, funeral mass will be held for her at St. Francis Cathedral, Otukbo, Benue State, to be followed by interment at Amule Oglewu Ohimini local government. Mrs. Theresa Oko is survived by children and grandchildren, among whom is Mr. Emmanuel Oko of FRC and Accounts Department.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
For sports news, sports journalists warned against circulation of unofficial medals table as Tottenham Hotspur dents Manchester United Champions League qualification hope. Let's join Idris Dari, who is standing by with details of these and more in our sports package.
Good morning and welcome to our continued coverage of the National Sports Festival, tagged Festival Flakes. The Director General of the National Sports Commission, Honorable Bukola Olakpade, has cautioned journalists and state officials to desist from circulating unofficial medals table at the 22nd edition of the National Sports Festival ongoing in Ogun State. Olakpade said only the official National Sports Festival app should be relied upon for real-time medal updates.
Nobody from the office of the main organizing committee or the local organizing committee told you Delta was leading. Nobody. If you chose to have read what you read, that is what we all need to correct. Wait until official tables are given to you before you publish.
Meanwhile, Bayelsa State maintained its early lead at the top of the medals table after day 4 of the 22nd National Sports Festival tagged Gateway Games. Bayelsa maintained its grip with 16 gold medals, 6 silver and 5 bronze medals. Defending champions Delta State took a big leap from day 3 to move to second spot with 10 gold, 5 silver and 6 bronze medals. In third position is Osun State with 6 gold medals and 1 silver, and closely followed in fourth position is Rivers with 5 gold medals, 3 silver and 4 bronze medals. Lagos State completes the top 5 in 5th position after day 4 with 4 gold, 7 silver and 10 bronze medals. The invited junior athletes IJA occupies the 11th position with their 2 gold medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze medal, while a total of 199 medals have been won so far after day 4 action with 61 gold, 61 silver and 77 bronze medals. In some of the activities which took place yesterday, Team Kaduna picked up its first medal with Emmanuel John taking silver in Wushu Kung Fu 90 kg event. Kaduna State was victorious in the male and female hockey events, while Favor Moses, Ibrahim Suleiman and Benjamin Ayuba also progressed to the next round of the tennis competition. The state's men's football team will battle Imo State in their final group game later today. Despite both teams qualifying for the quarterfinals, coach of the Kaduna State football team, Shola Adewi, said they will go all out for the win.
Actually, in a tournament of this nature, if you want to be a champion, you have to win every match. And we hope at the end of the day, we topped group and we beat Imo State.
Other football matches to hold today at the Remo Star Stadium Ikene include Borno State versus Osun State, the Federal Capital Territory FCT Abuja against Ebonyi State, and Edo to play Delta State in the South-South Derby. Delta State were previously held to a goalless draw by the invited junior athletes who are represented by the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria, a team coached by Manu Garba. Away from the National Sports Festival, Kwara United Football Club will take on Abakaliki FC in the final of this year's President's Federation Cup. The Harmony Boys beat fellow top-flight side Enugu Rangers 1-0 in the semi-finals decided yesterday to make it to their first Federation Cup final in 49 years. Giant killers Abakaliki FC of Ebonyi continue with their good run in the competition with a 5-4 penalty win over Ikorodu City in the other last 4 encounter decided at the Buhari Stadium, Abuja. The women's semi-final will hold on Saturday as Rivers Angels battle Ibom Angels in Abia, while the Ayimba football ground will host the tie between Edo Queens and Nasarawa Amazons. On the international scene, Tottenham Hotspur won their first European trophy in 41 years as the London side defeated Manchester United 1-0 in the Europa League final in Spain. A 42nd minute goal was all Spurs needed to get the better of their fellow struggling Premier League team.
Manchester United are left with nothing but a pile of regrets and what might have been. In 2025, Spurs have won the Europa League, beating Manchester United in Bilbao by 1-0.
The victory was the 4th in a row for Spurs over United this season. And that's it on Spurs for this morning. I am Idris Dari.
Commentary is on providing affordable housing for Nigerians, written by Agatha Kerenku, a social commentator.
Human beings have certain basic needs, which include food, shelter, and clothing. If any one of these basic needs is not met, then humans cannot survive. Therefore, past explorers set out to find new discoveries and conquer new worlds. They made sure their basic needs, such as food and water, were available. As human beings have continued to explore to better understand their own world and to address the modern challenges that face societies in general, Housing has become one of the essential needs of man's survival. This is to protect him against the weather and other harsh conditions. In fulfilling this basic need, it has to be qualitatively and quantitatively adequate. Factors that determine housing quality in Nigeria are affordability and accessibility. The provision of housing is regarded as a basic